Hello and welcome next part of this reformulation. In reformulation, we have seen in previous part some definitions, conversions of definitions. Here one theorem which is very important for examination, which is about reformulation. Theorem: the real valued function f is continuous at a belongs to R1. The real valued function f is continuous at a belongs to R1 if and only if, when we say that whenever xn is a sequence of real number converging to a, then sequence f of xn converging to f of a. Let us see this theorem again. Here two parts, if and only if. First part is function is continuous at a belongs to R1, and second part is whenever xn sequence is converging to a, then f of xn, this sequence converging to f of a. That is, in short, f is a continuous at a if and only if limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to a, then limit of f of xn as x tends to infinity is equal to f of a. That is, if whenever xn converges to a, then f of xn converges to a. That is, function is continuous in one part, and second is this part. Now, to prove this result, part 1. Assume f is continuous at a. Function continuous आहे असं आपण assume करू, and we have to show that this quantity, the limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to a, limit of f of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to f of a. In this part, we assume function is continuous, and what we are given? We are given function is continuous at a belongs to R1. We are given limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to a, and only we have to show that limit of f of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to f of a. We have to show that what? Sequence f of xn converges to f of a whenever, what is the meaning? Xn converging to a. This is what we want to prove. Let xn be any sequence of real number converging to a. Yes, it is hypothesis. Therefore, xn is the sequence converging to a, and to show that limit of f of xn as n tends to infinity f of a. Now again, more precisely, what exactly want to show? That is, given epsilon greater than 0, we must find n belongs to I such that f of xn is the member of open ball. Here we have seen the definition: open ball of radius r about a. In the way, open ball of this epsilon radius means very small about f of a. If f of xn is the member of this, then theorem is proof for that first part. But f is continuous at a, yes. Therefore, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that f of x belongs to b of f of a epsilon if, this is if x belongs to b of a delta. Open ball of, here epsilon, delta, these are the small but positive numbers. Here we consider as a radius. Delta is radius means very small. Open ball of radius delta about a. This is the reading of this expression. And x is the member of that open ball. You may say open disk also, which has no boundary, as like open disk. Therefore, X is the member of open ball of radius delta about A. If it happens, then this equation 1, we want to prove equation 1. We must find n in this way. We are given this because function is continuous. As xn tends to A, as n tends to infinity, means sequence xn converges into A. Then limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to A. There exists n belongs to R such that xn is the member of, that xn is the member of open ball of radius delta about A. This is nothing but in distance way we write as like this. What is this? As xn very close to A. Xn very close to A. That is, xn is the member of open ball of radius delta about A. Okay. That is, these are the equation 2 and 3. From these two equations, we can write the expression. Again, let us see. This is the second part, you may say, of reformulation. The real valued function is continuous if and only if xn converges to f of xn converges to f of a. This is the theorem. That is, in this way we can arrange what we want to prove. Assume function is continuous, and we have to show that if we are given limit of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to a, to show limit of f of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to f of a. These all constructions are what we want to prove, and then let us consider xn is a sequence converging to a, and we have to show that. What we have to show that? Given epsilon greater than 0, we must find this expression. Now from given, we write this. Also from given this, that two equations which are written in the form of open ball of radius delta about A. And now next, that is, say, from equation 2 and 3, we can write from 2 and 3 what? Let us consider, let us see here. F of x belongs to B of f of a epsilon. Here xn belongs to B of a delta. Both for n greater than or equal to capital N. Here this expression and this expression is the same. Therefore we write for epsilon greater than 0, there exists a capital N belongs to I such that f of x n belongs to B of f of a epsilon, and for all n greater than or equal to n. That is, the sequence xn converges to a, sequence f of xn also converges to f of a. This is the part 1. And now part 2, we are given this, and to prove function is continuous. We have to show that function is continuous. But now for this result, assume contrary. Suppose function is not continuous. Assume contrary. What we want to prove? Function is continuous. We say function is not continuous at A belongs to R1. Then by definition, which is already we have seen in first part, that is, function is, when we say that function is continuous, inverse image under f of every, that any open set about f of a contains open ball about it. Therefore, here also that definition we can apply. Function is not continuous. Therefore, we say that inverse image under f of any open ball B of f of a epsilon about f of a contains no open ball about it, because function is not continuous. Function is not continuous, therefore we write no open ball. Then that is f inverse of B means inverse image under f of every open ball. In short, we write this expression, f inverse of B does not contain B of A 1 by N. What is this? 1 upon n. For in number n, when we write that number n, positive number, 1 upon n like delta, epsilon, this is also some positive number, and for any n belongs to I, we arrange this. And therefore mod xn minus a less than 1 upon n, then means whenever xn minus a with mod n less than 1 upon n, then mod f of xn minus f of a is greater than or equal to epsilon. Why? Because here we say that no. Here we write greater than or equal to epsilon, and that is, this is the contradiction. Why contradiction? Our assumption. What is our assumption? This is our assumption. Limit of f of xn as n tends to infinity is equal to f of a. It means mod f of xn minus f of a less than epsilon. Mod f of xn minus f of a less than epsilon, and therefore contradiction, and hence our function is not continuous. This assumption is wrong, and hence we write f must be continuous at a belongs to R1, and therefore from these two parts theorem is proved. Okay, this is the reformulation. Let us see our next video, next part of this matrix space. Thank you.